baptized in dirty ditch water, baby. My name is Cookie St. James, and you're watching Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube. Woo! Woo!
Alright, so you got the gear. Let's get back. We got off track a little bit. Let's get back to the first match. Was it with Jeff Nim? Or was it a different promotion?
Damn, I went way off track.
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
went about 20 minutes off track.
That's all right. We got to get to
All
it.
right, first match. Like I said, Jeff's gone. He's getting ready for the Double J thing. Tony's gone because they're shooting vignettes and stuff. By this time, they're fixing to start airing some of these vignettes. Damn it. Tony's gone, and then Eddie Marlin's training us. So somehow, how did we get a first match? Now, my very first match, I'll tell you the true story about the very first match. All right, so Eddie Marlin's training us, but in a way, we're kind of training ourselves, the guys who have been there, and training the other guys, and we're still paying. And like I said, it's still 8 hours away, in which Eddie Marlin knew about my blow-up thing because he talked to Sam, too. He would sit and talk to Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, so him and Sam would talk, and Eddie Marlin actually told Sam, he said, before Jeff left, I asked him, he said, is there any prospects there? And he said, Jeff told him, he said, we got a big red-headed kid that's going to be good. And that's all I know about it. Eddie Marlin told Sam that Jeff's told him that we've got a big red-headed kid that's going to be good, which was me. But once again, I'd get nervous and we'd be running these drills, and like I said, not tired, not even winded, but I'd blow up. And that's when I started learning what blow up is.
Yeah.
So Eddie Marlin actually told Troy, who told my brother, told my brother.
I'd like to edit that one.
He actually told my brother, he said, look, he said, give him a Valium. Give him a half a Valium. Try half a Valium first and see if it works. And if not, give him a whole one. Because I think he knew. He knew I wasn't blowing up. Because it didn't really stop me from doing nothing. But you're gagging in the ring, and he told us when he said, look, he said, I can't put you in the ring until you quit doing that because you get out there and people notice it. He said, it'll kill you.
Right.
You know, which later on I learned was, I guess it was true in a sense if you get caught, but I've had it happen in the ring at times, and I was pretty good at disguising it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been caught blowing up, doing that, gagging in the ring when it's actually happened, especially when I first started, because like I said, the anxiety, the stage fright, you know, and you worried about dumb shit, walking to the ring and tripping, falling on your fucking face, going through the ropes.
Yeah.
You know, in the longer you've got to think about it, wrestling's a hurry up and wait game. You know, if you know you got a show and it's a week away, you got a whole week to wait on this motherfucker. Let the anticipation build. Every day it gets worse and worse. Yeah. The night before, fucking bad. Then the day of, worse. And me, it was always like that until I got to the show and got my gear on. And then I'd start settling down.
Yeah.
Because I felt ready then. And that's why I always showed up to shows early.
Yeah. Because
I'd get there and the nervousness wouldn't start subsiding until I got there and got dressed. A lot of it be 4 o'clock and the show not start till late, and I'm there, nobody else there, and I'm already dressed.
That's true still to this day.
Complete gear. Because once I got my shit on, then still nervous, but I was able to start controlling it a little better.
Yeah.
You know.
So where was this first match?
First match, I don't know how you got in touch with him. Zeke Rivers. All right, here's how my first match actually happened. When we were training, we met these two guys named Orlando and Edric.
Right.
Edric Hines. A lot of Memphis people probably remember that name.
Yeah.
Orlando probably not, because Orlando can't be seen on Memphis TV getting beat up by his family. Orlando ain't having that. So probably don't know nothing about Orlando. But anyway, They were from Memphis. So Edric was from Memphis, and actually Orlando, I think he lived in Memphis, but I think he was actually from right around Jericho.
Yeah.
Jericho, Arkansas. So we would meet up, and we started going to Nashville together for training when we were still training. So how, I don't know, Sam's starting to look for matches because, like I said, Eddie Marlin's there, but we're kind of training ourselves and the other guys. Somehow he got a hold of Zeke Rivers, and if anybody knows who Zeke Rivers is, Freddie Krueger on Memphis. He probably did some other mask gimmicks. So he talks to Zeke, and they work out an agreement. I want to say it started out at $500. So we're going to go up to Zeke. So Zeke says, well, y'all meet me here. So we go to Memphis and meet Zeke at his house. So when we go in this house, it's this old ass house. It's kind of run down. You go in, then he's got these two. He takes us in the dining room. So he talks to us a little bit, takes us in the dining room, and you walk in, and you can tell he especially hung these two posters of like Memphis cards he was on. Got Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, whoever else. But he got them on the wall. There ain't nothing else on these walls. Just these two pictures. So he gets us in the dining room. We move his dining room table, and he wants to see how I bump. So
in the dining room.
In the dining room. And I'm like, dude. You don't know nothing. We don't know shit.
Yeah. Green
as hell. I mean, when I say green, we ain't even got the green yet. Truthfully, know how to wrestle in the ring now. Actually, know how to work, or just don't realize I know how to work yet. But about the business, don't know shit.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get in any way you can. So we go to Zeke's. Basically, at the end of the day, you take a few bumps on his dining room floor. Troy, shit.
At it again.
My brother gives him $250. So for $250, we took a few bumps on this dude before I did. He gives Sam this, he gives him like this old, big, giant, cheap ass gold nugget ring that's a gimmick. Like you slide it on your fingers and boom, you hit somebody with it.
Yeah.
He gave him this other homemade thing that went around your hand, and it had a couple of them. It was like almost like if you seen an old dog collar that had them little pyramid spikes on it.
Yeah.
You put it on your hand, another gimmick, and he gave him something else. But he said, look, I've got a show in Arkansas. Might have been Wilson. May have been Joyner. May have been.
Wilson and Joyner's about the same place anyway.
I mean, truthfully, I don't remember exactly where it is, but a town like that.
Yeah.
Which that's a pretty good thing because that leads us to my first promoter.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said, look, Saturday I got this show. Why don't y'all pick me up in West Memphis and we'll ride to the show? And so it goes from just me and Sam and Zeke to then before it's over, Edric and Orlando's coming with us to this show. Zeke has him and a couple of people with him. And so we're all in this minivan heading to this show. We don't know nothing about wrestling. The first show I've ever been to that I was in the back of, not a fan of.
Right.
So we go to this show. Like I said, it's a little town in Arkansas, old school gym. I'll tell you where it is. There's a school over there that old timey gym, but you go to the locker rooms, but off to the side they still had an old indoor pool.
That's Wilson.
Cool ass
probably,
pool.
Yeah.
Cool pool, old school, big pool too, in the building. So we go there. Before we get there, right as we pull up, Zeke has us put masks on. And when I say put masks on, I mean there's like 7 to 9 people pile out of this van with these masks on.
Right.
Stupidest shit ever. We had to look dumb as hell. I mean, when I think back about it, it cracks me up. I can just imagine if I was sitting there and I see 9 of the stupidest looking motherfuckers in my life get out of a van with all their mask on. Some
Like
of
a
them,
clown
like
car.
my shit was made for me, so it was fitting good. But these masks, these guys got them on and they don't fit their heads. Some of them's too big, some of them's too small. The neck's all flared out. So he takes us in the dressing room and he done told the promoter, we've done this, we've done that, we've had this many matches.
Yeah.
Actually, we ain't done none of this shit.
Okay, wait a minute before you start talking about the match. Before y'all got started, y'all went to Zeke's house. Y'all paid him $250 for some gimmicks.
Hold on, y'all did.
Or Sam did. For some gimmicks. Then for him to book y'all. Then for y'all to have to pick him and his boys up and give him a ride to the show.
That's the wrestling business. In a nutshell, that right there is the wrestling business.
So you paid me, or he paid him, plus y'all had to give him a ride.
I
That
ain't
was
so
his
sure.
show.
I ain't so sure Sam didn't pay for his food at the buffet.
Was the $250 just for the gimmick? I don't understand what y'all were paying for.
In the end, the $250 was basically got us in the business.
Okay.
It got us behind. Like I said, we go to this show. You say it's at Wilson. That sounds right.
Well, Wilson's where the swimming pool
It's one of them towns. So we go to this show. We pile out of the van. We all head in the dressing room. Like I said, there's about 9 of us. And you get in the dressing room, and there's like already like it looks like in my head that everything's zooming. Because you don't know. You don't know that it's just some little outlaw show.
Right.
To you, it's the biggest show in the world because it's the first one you ever been like actually a part of.
Right.
So he done told the promoter, we've wrestled this many matches, done this, done that. So Zeke walks off and Sam tells the promoter, he said, look man, he said, I don't know what he's telling you, but it's our first match. I mean, we ain't never even had a match.
Yeah.
Which the promoter turned out to be a guy named Simon Langston, the Atomic Dog.
Yeah.
Which in turn turned out, really that $250 was the best one of the best monies that we ever spent in the wrestling business. That $250, which is supposed to be $5, but Sam never did pay him the rest after taking the bumps on the floor and getting them gimmicks.
I still don't understand what the fee was for. I'm so confused on that.
It was basically
but
to
it
get
led
us,
you where you
it got
needed
us
to be,
into that
basically.
show and into the back. And so Sam tells Simon, he said, look, I don't know what he's telling you, but we don't know none of this shit.
Yeah.
Just so happens that there's guys going back and forth. Like I said, it felt, to me, even right now, I feel like there was probably 75, 80 guys at the show. I mean, really, there was so many dudes. And we're sitting there, and I'm kind of just awestruck, really. You're in the back, guys are moving, they're doing stuff. And all of a sudden, Charlie Laird walks by me. And he looks at me, I look at him. Of course, I still had the hood on.
Yeah.
I had the hood on, so I looked at him, and it hit me. I said, hey, Charlie. And he, turned around and said, yeah. So then I pulled my hood up, and he could see who I was. We actually trained together in Nashville.
Gotcha.
Charlie used to go to the school, too.
Yeah.
So the minute that happened, kind of eased up a little bit.
Right, you knew
Me
somebody
anyway.
else. Yeah.
So Sam tells the promoter, we don't know shit, we never had no matches, which the promoter, it worked in our favor. Like I said, we met Simon, it's the first time we ever met him. Guess it made a good impression on him by being honest with him. Didn't actually end up having a match. If I remember right, they had a ton of matches, but then they had this battle royal. So all of us guys ended up working this battle royal. And when I say there were 75 people there, in this battle royal, felt like there were so many people when it started that you couldn't really move in the ring.
Yeah.
Literally couldn't move, just so many. But the one guy that was there, the only name, was Bull Payne.
Yeah.
Which was one of the Texas Hangmen. So Bull's in the battle royal too, and I don't know. In my head, I'm thinking, me and him going to cross paths in this battle royal, but it never happened. He was doing his thing, I was doing mine. Of course, once dude knew it was our first time, you're in a little while and then you're out pretty quick. If I'm thinking right, Bull won the battle royal. Surely he did.
Yeah.
I mean, who else would have won it?
Right.
Unless Simon won it. But I want to say probably Bull won the battle royal, but we never got to touch, and then that was really the first match, my first match. I mean, it wasn't even a match.
So did you even get paid for that match?
I don't even remember truthfully on that match. On that particular night, I don't think we did get paid. Now I think about it.
Yeah.
Now the first time we did get paid,
made big bucks.
oh my God. You know, that's what you break into business for. You think, man, you're going to be famous, you're going to be on TV,
You're gonna be rich.
you're going to be an athlete, you're going to make a lot of money, you're going to be somewhat of a rock star, and then you get in the business and the first actual pay you get is $5 for 2 people. Me and Sam got paid $5 together for our very first actual match. And here's the thing. You want to know who our first match was with? Real match?
Yeah.
Red Robinson and Chris Rocker.
Really?
That's how long these 2 dudes have been doing this.
I didn't know
Even
that.
they were obviously wrestling before I was.
Right.
So I don't know how long they've actually been doing that. I'm pretty sure Red's daddy.
So just say they're
I mean, their
wrestling
family was involved in wrestling, so they
Yeah.
kind of grew up in it. But my first actual match was Rocker and Red going against me. I want to say a guy that was doing an executioner gimmick, but I could be wrong about that. I was so fucking nervous.
Right.
You know, the first spot I did was feed in, take a double drop kick.
Yeah.
Took a good bump, powdered out. It's like, oh shit, yeah. You know, it felt good. $5 for 2 people. You
Well, I
know?
knew you and Red and Rocker had been around each other for a long time, but I never realized that they were y'all's first match.
My very first real match. Like I said, we done that battle royal.
That's pretty cool.
But my first real match was with Rocker and Red.
So did you continue to work for Simon from that point on?
Yeah. So like I said, Simon really became my very first promoter.
And Simon ended up running Osceola in the beginning, right?
Yeah. He had it before Dog come in. He had it before anybody. Simon used to run Osceola. We used to run the school. And Simon used to draw whatever fills up the school at Osceola bleachers.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really a lot of times put ringside seats out, a few times.
Yeah.
But he would regularly, I say regularly, back then there wasn't a show on every corner.
Yeah.
You had, sometimes USWA was working every night of the week, but if you was an outlaw guy, sometimes you didn't work but once a month.
Yeah.
Twice a month, sometimes it wasn't but every couple months. You know, especially when you're green and you don't really know nobody or have no promoter, no, you know. And Simon was a dude, he might run a couple of shows back to back, and then it might be 2 or 3 months before he run another one. But he'd always draw killer crowds, always fill a high school up at Osceola.
Yeah. Well, once you worked for Simon, is that where you ended up working for Dog? How did it lead in? Because Dog came after Simon, right? Or did you do some other stuff?
We worked for Simon. Simon ran Osceola. Actually, he ran all the top towns that Moondog ended up running. Joyner, Luxor. Simon would run all these different towns. Wilson.
Yeah.
It was his show. That first Battle Royal was a Simon show.
Yeah.
But it was the first one he'd run in a while, and it was really chaotic. After that, the shows were a lot better, a lot more organized. It was called the Continental Wrestling Federation. I know everybody knows the Fullers, the real Continental Wrestling Federation, but he called it the Continental Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
So he ran that. After that first night on that Battle Royal, we were booked on every show for Simon. After that, and I don't know, about 6 months or 8 months later, whoever was the champion, something happened, you know, I don't know what happened. They either vacated or were stripped of it for not being there and defending it. So all of a sudden the CWF heavyweight title's up for grabs.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, this 6, 8 months, 9 months after starting with him, and he booked me against Reggie B. Fine.
Yeah.
At one of these little towns, and when Reggie first come in, Simon told him, he got us together and kind of told us what was going on, what he wanted. And he told us the very nice thing, he said, and I want him to go over, talking about me.
Yeah.
Which he understood. One thing, Simon, he don't get enough credit, he was a pretty smart dude. He could draw crowds, and he understood that I was there for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was his guy. Reggie was Channel 5's guy.
Right. Just did that for a little bit.
Cost him money to come in, and you can't. It's hard to put a belt on that person when they're not there all the time, and even if they tell you they're going to be, if Jerry Lawler says come here,
that's who he's committed.
He's come. I mean, you know. So he told him. He said, "Look," he said, "I want him to go over." And Reggie, he said, "Man, I can't do that." And right there, he said, "I can't do that." And Simon was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "He's my guy." And Reggie said, "Look, man," he said, "nobody even knows who he is," which, I mean, that's true. Mm-hmm. I mean, the people there in that little town, I've been there a few times for Simon, that particular place. Yeah. But all the towns are like 15 or 20 miles away from each other, so a lot of times, most times you got crossover fans that who do know who you are, but as far as being on TV, anything, nobody knew who I was. He's like, I can't. And Simon stuck to it. And Simon told him, he said, well, he's my champion. You know, and when Simon stuck to it, Reggie he hauled a few minutes, and then finally he said, I guess when he figured out Simon wasn't going to change, he said, okay. Of course, Reggie never seen me in the ring. Yeah. Didn't know what I could do. And I understand that too. So we booked the match. We have the match. We get out in the ring. And here's something I learned in that match. Communicating in the wrestling ring. And Reggie be fine. I learned that. And I mean, the things you learn in wrestling. We go out for a match. Like I said, Reggie was already hesitant because he didn't know nothing about me. Yeah. He didn't know if I could work. He didn't know if I could wrestle. He didn't know if I could do anything or whether I was going to go out there and stink the joint up. So we get in the ring and we're circling. And he's talking to me. Just plain as day. And we're circling and he's talking to me. And I'm not saying nothing back. And nobody's seeing him talk to me. Yeah. Nobody's catching that, but he's moving his hands, he's doing things when he's talking.
Misdirected.
You know, and he's calls like simple, I mean it's something stupid, a lock up, headlock, something, from across the ring, and I don't answer back. And we're still circling. And finally, I mean, do you hear me? And I finally said, you want me to just talk? You know, I had a hood on, so I could kind of disguise it a little bit. I had long hair too, but it was under the hood. And I said, you mean you just want me to talk right out in the open? And he's like, yeah. So it clicked right then. I started moving with him, doing shit, and we're talking back and forth, and nobody's none the wiser. Like, nobody's seeing none of this. Not one fan is seeing that we're communicating. And when I say communicating, we're as plain as day, like me and you are 4 feet apart talking to each other while we're moving. And from that point on, we locked up, had an awesome match. By the end of the night, when it was over, Reggie was cool. Me and Reggie have been cool ever since then.
Yeah. Okay, a couple of things you said there I want to kind of touch on. So Simon kind of gave y'all some key points he wanted y'all to do during the match. So did you and Reggie go out and rehearse the match beforehand?
No rehearsal. And Simon didn't give us no spots. There wasn't no opening, or he didn't even give us a finish. He basically just got us together, introduced us, told us when we were going on, which it was main event. As a matter of fact, I think it was the very first main event I ever been in. So I'm nervous as shit anyway. Yeah. And then you're working Reggie, which I've been watching him on TV for years. Yeah. And he just got us together, kind of introduced us, and just told him, said, look, y'all got this much time, and I want him to go over. Yeah. And then it was left to us, and truthfully, I don't remember, because see, Reggie, before the match started, was still a little salty. Even though he agreed and he was cool, he was still a little salty, you know.
About putting you over?
Yeah, about putting me over. So we go out, like I said, we have the match. Once I loosen up and start communicating with him, and realize how simple it is to actually communicate in a wrestling ring without being in somebody's ear or being just blatant that you're talking to each other. if you do natural shit and you move and you misdirect with your hands and stuff, most of the time nobody's paying no attention to your mouth.
Yeah.
You got two guys moving at the same time. Some people's watching this one, some people's watching this one, some people's trying to watch both of you at the same time. But most of the time, if you're moving your feet and your legs and you're doing shit, they're watching the movements and they're paying attention to your mouth. So it's as simple as that, and you're talking.
Yeah.
So that was one of the greatest things I ever learned was that night, man. It was like, because that's something you always worry about as a young wrestler. I did communicating.
Yeah.
In your head, you hope you hear the spot when guys are talking to you. You don't want to mishear a spot and fuck it up. You don't want to not hear the spot.
Right.
And you really don't know what to do if you don't hear the spot, at that point. But that night, man, when he clicked it off for me about how you really do this and communicate, took a load off of my mind.
Yeah.
It was like a piece of the puzzle fell in, and I knew right then. Because see, even to this, look, it's worse now than ever.
Yep.
Right now to this day, I feel like guys have lost the art of communication in the wrestling ring too.
Yeah.
Because they are right up in each other's ears. They're pausing the action to talk to each other. I mean, it's as simple as if you're down on the mat and I'm the bad guy and I go to pick you up by your hair, I reach down, I bend over, I'm communicating with you. If I'm ready for a spot and we're going to do another spot, well, the whole time I'm moving, I'm talking to you, but I'm grabbing your hair, I'm lifting you up, I'm talking, You're listening. You're talking because your head's down, I'm lifting you up, we're both moving. You can talk. If you're in close confined spaces, sure, you can't be loud, but if you do it right, most of the time people don't know. People don't catch it. Now, I see it so much that I don't see how people watch some of the wrestling because it's the communication. It's like guys have lost the art of communicating in the ring. I don't know where they lost it, but I don't remember us getting calling spots the way guys seem to do now.
I feel like the wrestling we growed up on is a dying art anyway. I don't think wrestling will ever be. I feel like these indie guys don't take it serious anymore. They get out there and they're just going through the motions. A lot of them. That's why I made that comment about rehearsing the matches.
No, we didn't rehearse
because
nothing.
I feel like a lot of it seems like, and we've seen this. People getting out there beforehand and working it out before they get in the ring.
Look, if you're doing TV, live or taped. I mean, a lot of them times you don't have but a few minutes.
Yeah.
So, and you need it to be perfect as you can get it. So, I can go either way, to be honest with you. Look, one thing I learned also, once I got into wrestling, is I got a hell of a memory. I can remember so much shit and the order we set it up to go in. Some guys like to lay it all out. Other guys like to go in there, maybe have an opening and you're finished, and in the middle's what we do. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. If it's your time to shine, if you're a baby face, it's your time to shine, and I know this, then I let you shine. You do what you want. I bump for you. I put you over until it's time for me to cut you off and start getting my heat. And if you know it's bump time, it's heat time, then we ain't got to be a lot of communication. I ain't even got to talk to you. If I shoot your ass off and I kind of side up to you, take the back elbow. Yeah. Now, if I want you to duck it, I'll say duck. Or double duck and then a clothesline, or double duck and then a cross body, which means I shoot you off, give you a hope spot, duck this one. Maybe you come off this rope, I go for a clothesline, you duck it. When I come around, you hit me with the cross body. I take the bump, 1, 2, kick out, boom. When you feed back up, I cut you back off, and we settle it back down.
Yeah.
All
right, let's get back to the first matches. What was your gimmick? Were you Buster Johnson? Were you Hellraiser?
I was the Hellraiser. They come up with that.
So you were the Hellraiser in the beginning.
Yeah, that happened at Zeke Rivers' house.
Okay, that's at $250.
Well, this was the second time when we picked him up, and it was match time. It's like well, you need a name and you need music, in which we thought we were going to have an actual match anyway.
Yeah.
Like a real match, not end up in a battle royal. But at the end of the day, I was glad that we only did that battle royal because it kind of let you get in the ring and knock them jitters off.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little less pressure, especially when there's 75 people in the ring. And I mean, you really can't see nobody. It's so crowded that until the ring clears out, and by that time, I'm pretty sure I was already out. Hell, I forgot what you asked me.
What came first, the Buster Johnson or the Hellraiser?
No, the
Basically, you
Hellraiser.
tell me how
Like,
you got the name.
He's like, you need a name, you need a name. And some music. And I actually think the music came before the name. I think he had some AC/DC, or we had been listening to it, and Hell's Bells. We played Hell's Bells. And so it's, you need a name, and it's like a rush. You know, you think of a million names when ain't nobody wanting one, and the minute somebody asks you, then you can't think of one.
Yeah.
So I think we were listening to Hell's, looking for an intro song, and I think when I played Hell's Bells, and it stuck with me, gave me the goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the Hellraiser, the name come from. Hell's Bells, I might as well be the Hellraiser.
Yeah.
You know. So.
You start with the scream. They come on later on.
Truthfully, I guess I subliminally stole that from Sting, because you know he's the only guy that really came out and just screamed like he had started his intro all when he come out the curtain, hit the scream and then go. So I guess I kind of just took it. I don't know that for sure, but like I never planned on doing that. I kind of after the first match I don't remember doing it, but after that it just happened. I come out, scream, throw the hands up, and did the scream, and it got a reaction, so I kept it, you know.
All right, so after working for Simon, what's the next chapter? Where we go from there?